What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Space and Rocket Review. It's December 15th, 2025, and I am EJ, the only host of the Space and Rocket Review on this channel, unless otherwise noted. So, we're going to start the Space and Rocket Review tonight with a Rocket Lab launch. The Rocket Lab mission, called Bridging the Swarm, is poised on the pad at the Mahia Peninsula right now. We actually did try to see this rocket launch last week, but they ended up scrubbing, and they're going to go again now. This is the 20th launch of Electron. 20th launch of Electron rocket this year. That Rocket Lab's 78th mission in total. Which is actually pretty dang cool.
Discovery.
Flip up.
Go at throttle up.
48-month resub. Okay. Sorry, just taking my sweatshirt off. It's getting kind of warm in here. Okie dokie. I thought you were going to lose it with my comment on... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nader, did you hear that we looked at some... Remember when we were looking at the promo footage from the UK3 launch? You know, like they showed the rocket, they showed it flying, they showed the separation. Remember that? Remember that VOD from that, like, week and a half ago? It got claimed manually by the Chinese Communist Party. I'm not making that up. CCTV, Chinese state television, claimed my YouTube video, citing intellectual property. I'm serious, dudes. Look. Here, I'll show you the email. Look at that. You believe that? Crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's really funny, actually. Yeah, so, yeah, your comment. Yeah. Yeah, they can get bent. How about that? Oh, I disputed it. Don't worry. Oh, I disputed it. Crazy, right? It's funny. You actually reminded me. I thought I would explain that because as we start this space news, I thought I would explain that. The reason why I'm explaining that is because I'm not doing nothing that has to do with their crappy space program anymore. They can get fricked. I'm not talking about it. We're not advertising for it. I don't want to discuss it. I don't care what they're doing. They're just going to claim it. They can piss off.
From mission control by...
So, yeah, just you reminded me to mention that during Space News.
Operators will check in from their stations to confirm their
now,
systems
Rocket Lab
are
wouldn't do
operating
that
as they
because Rocket
should,
Lab's cool.
and also to confirm that the range in Mahia is ready to support. So let's listen in.
And to all operators, LD on mission code, we are proceeding with the go-no-go sequence.
All right, here we
starting
go.
off with stage.
Stages go.
Avionics.
Avionics is go.
GNC.
GNC is go.
Recon.
Recon is go.
T1.
T1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
PLS.
PLS is go.
RSO.
RSO is go.
MET.
MET is go.
MM.
MM is go.
The go-no-go sequence is complete. We are T-minus 11 minutes and 25 seconds in counting. We are go for terminal count auto sequence at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the three-way procedure is in effect.
Nice one out of mission control there with a clean run across our launch operators that moves us forward for today's launch at 1:55 p.m. local time in just over 11 minutes. Now, an earlier weather report had today's conditions at 95% favourable for launch today, and
Those
all
are sheep,
other
by the
launch
way.
vehicle and payload checks are proceeding nominally. So while we're taking a look at Electron on the pad, here is more about what makes up our small lift rocket. So Electron is a carbon composite launch vehicle that can lift up to 320 kilograms to low Earth orbit, and it has 3 stages: a first stage, a second stage, and a kick stage inside Electron's fairing that will carry NeonSat to its orbital destination. Overall, the rocket is 18 meters in length, or about 59 feet, and its diameter is just over 1 meter.
We run 2 propulsion systems across Electron. The first involves the Rutherford, our 3D printed electric pump-fed rocket engine. Now, there are 9 of these at the bottom of that first stage, and a single space-optimized Rutherford engine on the second stage. For the kick stage, we use the Curie propulsion system, a much smaller engine that we use for orbital maneuvering and positioning. This engine is capable of multiple restarts and tightly timed engine burns to deploy the mission's payload to orbit. Now, precise
It's on the North
positioning
Island,
is
Eddie.
especially important for Earth imaging missions like KAIST's, and the kick stage is capable of deploying satellites to within just meters of its target. That is an incredible feat, considering that the kick stage travels at an orbital velocity of around 8 kilometers per second.
Now, that incredible accuracy allows small satellite operators to choose the exact parameters that are critical for their missions, like altitude and inclination, where the orbit directly impacts the satellite's performance for Earth observation, communications, and a whole lot more. And Electron has deployed more than 200 satellites
All right,
this
guys.
way across
We're inside
77 launches as of this.
We're inside of 10 minutes. I'm gonna run ads right now on Twitch. I don't like running ads. I think they're intrusive and annoying. However, if I run ads now, that means pre-roll ads will be disabled during the launch, so you won't get an ad during liftoff. So I'm going to run them now. I'm sorry, I hate ads, but if I have a choice to have you guys watch a rocket launch unabridged without a Taco Bell ad in it, I'm doing it.
TPS panels, which you'll be able to spot through our
And
external.
if you're on YouTube, hey, what's up? I have no control over when the ads play. Sorry about that.
That the material properties
Discovery,
of the
go and
panels
throttle up.
match our models and simulations.
Captain Jack,
And
45-month
now,
resub.
during
Thank
ascent,
you.
you might notice that these panels degrade and peel off during the stage 1 burn, but do not worry, that is completely intentional. And we'll be sure to remind you of it when it happens, so make sure you stay tuned.
Now, today's launch will also be our 20th of the year, and all but 3 of them have taken place from right here at Launch Complex 1. We operate 2 launch pads from our private launch site on the Mahia Peninsula, Pad A, which we're flying from today, and Pad B, just a few meters away, which hosted our most recent Electron launch on the weekend. And in fact, over at our Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport in Virginia, Launch Complex 2, we have a 3rd Electron pad there as well, where we are just wrapping up the launch rehearsal for our next launch that will fly from there later this week.
Cool.
Now, having these dedicated pads, especially having 2 of those in play within the same site, means that we can
That's
launch from one
STPS 30.
and then move straight onto the
supposed to
next
launch on
pad while the
Thursday.
first one is being made ready for the launch after that. And that's exactly what we need to run back-to-back missions like we're doing today. Here's more about Launch Complex 1.
It's gonna get claimed, guys. Sorry, they disable closed captioning ever since the Jesus is Green incident. That's where it is right there. It's a 2-launch complex. You have 1 pad off to the right here and 1 pad straight ahead. This was the first one. That was the second one that they made. Rocket Lab is not a big rocket. Electron is not a big rocket, as you can see. They just wheel it out on a dolly, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, twin pad launch complex, pretty cool. Yeah, see, look at it. I always think that's crazy. They just wheel it out on a cart. Care to explain? YouTube's closed caption system doesn't jive well with picking up what the people are saying with New Zealand accents. So we were watching a Rocket Lab stream once in. Let's say the closed captioning malfunctioned a couple of times. Yeah, Daves, this game, I hate playing these games. It's really annoying. Yeah. Can you confirm that Jesus is green? Lady bits her own internal power? Yes, it did say that. Yeah, so, you know, Rocket Lab seems to have disabled closed captions on their streams since then. So yeah, I can't really understand what they're saying, but yeah, they're talking about the launch complex. It does look a little windy down there today, but it seems to be shouldn't be that big of a deal. Can't confirm what you just asked, but I have drank Bailey's from a shoe. You've done a shoey with Bailey's, Sean? Oh, all right. Hey, also, Sean, where can I get my hands on an 8R70 and a standalone transmission controller for, you know, not cheap? I looked into it. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. Just, you know, if you're everybody else and that made no sense, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll understand in good time. Yeah, it's not that bad to work around it, Nader. Here's the thing, man. Here's what they don't tell you. Look, is the claim system on YouTube a gigantic pain in the butt? Yes. Yes. Do I hate playing these games with multi-billion-dollar corporations and state-run endeavors? Absolutely, I hate it. The ad revenue on YouTube makes it worth it. Okay? I'm serious. The ad rev on YouTube is ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know, we do okay. A space news segment will get 100 views concurrent over on YouTube. That ad revenue is absurd. It's pretty good. That makes it worth it, man. Like, for double dipping the same Twitch stream, yeah, sure, no problem. I don't mind playing the game. It doesn't make it any less annoying, but I don't mind playing the game when it means that for a little bit of extra work of just making sure the right VODs are muted and stuff, or the right music is muted, the right videos are muted, means like adding a significant portion of revenue. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's what nobody ever says. It's pretty dang good. If you're just live streaming like I am, like, yeah, not bad. What did you ask? Sean, I asked where somebody could get their hands on an 8R70 and a standalone transmission controller for cheap. I looked into it. Like you said. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, no, it doesn't suck. Yeah, that's
The vehicle is fully on internal power.
really not a bad idea.
AFTS is green, enable for flight.
Locks load complete. System is in recirculation.
Okay, we're inside of 90 seconds here. Yeah, there you go, Jeff. Mm-hmm.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, some people know. Some people know what that means. "60 seconds.
Anti-geysering is disabled.
"50.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks are pressed for flight.
And a Motec system exhaust. Yep.
High flow engine purge enabled.
Okay, purging out the engines, preparing them for a good ignition. Making sure you don't get any reactive gases up in the engines during ignition to cause combustion instability or anything else. 30 seconds. Most rockets have a purging system like that. Rocket Lab announces it, though. 20?
T-minus 20 seconds and counting.
10.
10, 9, 8, 7,
Sound suppression
6,
system
5,
should be turning
4,
on.
3, 2, 1.
Hold.
Abort.
Pad deluge never turned on.
To all operators, we are proceeding with
What
the
the
immediate abort
heck?
sequence.
That was weird.
GC LD mission code.
LDGC.
Confirm the range state is inhibit.
Confirmed.
And GC,
I never
please
saw the
confirm
water
stage
system turn
1 and
on,
stage
dudes.
2 umbilical status is engaged.
Confirm.
That was weird. I've never seen an
Okay,
electron
just
do
confirming
that.
what we heard from Mission Control there. Sounds like an abort was called in that countdown, so we are waiting to hear more from Mission Control.
I don't know if it was that for sure, Hellfish, but every Rocket Lab launch that I've watched, there's a sound suppression system that shoots off well before an engine ignition right here on those railings right there. I did not see it, dudes. I didn't see it, but then again, this is a weird camera angle. This camera looks to be over at pad 2 because the vaporizer is in the shot.
The stage terminal board checks sequence 70.
Copy
Drone.
NWAG.
Somebody sent out a drone. I heard it.
At this
Take
point,
off.
we are not recycling, we are scrubbing for today.
Oh, that's bad.
PLS LD mission code.
LD PLS.
Proceed with the PLS prep and detank sequence 72.
Oh,
Copy sequence 72 NWAG.
Okay, we heard it from Mission Control there with the
Not
short
great.
launch window for today and that abort called right at liftoff. It looks like we won't be recycling the count today and we'll be standing down. Thank you though for sticking with us, and we'll provide updates on our website and social media channels as soon as we have them.
Ooh, that was not supposed to do that. Okay, Hellfish. Yeah. Can I watch that again, dudes? Ooh. That was not. You guys see any water splashing around down there?
10, 9,
Oh yeah, no, it came on.
7,
It was
6,
there.
5,
Barely,
4, 3,
but it was there.
2, 1. Abort.
Ooh.
To all operators, we are proceeding with the immediate abort sequence.
No, John, I've never seen that. Guys,
GC LD mission.
my first analysis was wrong. It's just the camera angle with their Rocket Labs UI kind of having that fade right here. It made it look like there was nothing there. The deluge system did turn on. I was wrong. That was absolutely incorrect. It did turn on. That's what that white cloud was that we saw. That was a T-minus 1 second abort. That was really, really close to liftoff. An abort like this happens usually when the onboard computers see something that they don't like. This wasn't a person like pushing the abort button. The onboard computers safed the vehicle and shut it before it left. Now, why? Why would it do that? The computer saw something it didn't like. Usually, right before liftoff, a rocket's onboard computers would look through all the telemetry that's happening during engine ignition. Did all engines get to the right temperature? Did they all get to the right thrust? Did they all get to the right pressures? It'll look for all that in that split second because it's a computer. It can do that. With that being said, it looks like it saw something it didn't like. This happens when the computer's basically quote unquote redline monitor catches something that catches something from the telemetry from ignition that it didn't like. Now, whatever that is, I don't know what that is. I'm going to guess that it had something to do with the ignition, because that's when the computer was like, what's the word I'm looking for? No, you know. It could be an off nominal pressure. It could be anything. You know, dang forced Windows updates. Yeah, right. COPV? No. Please, I hope not. Well, it's in one piece, so. Can you pull up another launch to see the normal deluge? Yes and no. I don't think we've ever seen one from that angle, dude. That's the problem. I mean, guys, hang on. Let me look at something again real quick.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guys, it looks like the deluge system didn't go. The pressure never really picks up, but then again, the pressure for that part of your pad deluge system is not supposed to pick up until it launches. You know what, dude? You know what, John? Let's do that. We're in space news. We're not. Let's look at it. So this was the mission over the weekend. Launched from the same launch complex. Let's see. See, that's the pad that we just saw it go from. Or didn't go from. Let's take a look.
Seven, six,
See? Watch.
5, 4, 3, 1.
You see how much extra see how much extra clouds there are? Huh. See, that's what it's supposed to look like. Dude, I don't know if Huh. Yeah, the flow for the top part, yeah. Yeah, okay, nothing is wrong with the sound suppressor. I don't think that's it. I think it was much more likely something with the vehicle. It probably detected telemetry indicating a hard start or potential hard start and shut it off. Yeah, the engines didn't even ramp up to full power. Notice how Electron kind of stays on the pad for a second? See that? It stays on the pad for a second and then goes. So that the thrust ramp up wasn't good. Something with the engine, something with one of the Rutherford engines was not happy there. What's the stream for? So this is a pad deluge and sound suppressor. The sound suppressor is down here. The pad deluge is up here. What's the difference? Well, on paper, actually, I'm saying it backwards. Sound suppressor is up top. Pad deluge is down the bottom. It's whatever is above and below the launch deck. Technically, your sound suppressor is above the launch platform. Pad deluge is, well, in the pad. Now, what are these systems there for? They're there to what's called dampen out acoustic vibrations. Rockets are so ridiculously loud. During a liftoff scenario like this, sound can reverb off the pad and actually induce vibrations on the vehicle that compound and damage things. Okay? So what they do to protect the pad, I mean, amongst other things, you protect the pad because you don't want your pad getting destroyed. They spray water. The pad deluge water is working really good right here. It's working really well. Now watch the jets up there at the top. They start spraying like crazy. See? They start spraying like crazy because they don't want sound from the Rutherford engines reverberating off your pad deck and damaging the rocket. on the way up. The sound is enough to damage a vehicle here. The rockets are really loud. So loud that they could damage themselves potentially, right? That's why all these white clouds are there. It's there to dampen out acoustic vibrations. Now, why? Why do they do that? Water is really good at absorbing sound. It's very good. And also heat. Once again, it's there to protect the pad too, so the pad doesn't get destroyed every time an explosion happens next to it. Now I know what you're thinking, like, what do you mean, explosion? Rockets are just a controlled explosion that's being shot out of a nozzle to create a jet of gases. That's what they are. It's just a controlled explosion that's being shot through a funnel. Actually, a fire would be the right way to say it. It's just a fast fire, as Elon has called it that before. But yeah. Yeah, that's really hot. Also, you don't want that damaging things. So that was the launch on Sunday. This was the launch attempt from today.
T-minus 20 seconds and counting. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that was something. The onboard computer saw something it didn't like during ignition, guys. I'm 90% sure. He wouldn't, if there was anything else on the pad or anything that it didn't see, the last thing you do is fire the engine. So if it aborted during engine start, that usually means there's something, the computer saw something it didn't like with the Rutherford engines.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Abort. To all operators, we are proceeding with the immediate abort sequence.
Is Rocket Lab pretty good about announcing what went wrong? Peter Beck usually does if somebody calls him out on it. The upper stage isn't venting like the other one did. Really? Let me see.
Six, 5, 4, 3, 1.
Okay, so the vent opened and then it closed. Let's see if this one did that. Yeah, it's open.
10, 9.
Yeah, see, there
8,
it goes.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
There, it's shut off.
2, 1.
It's all the same, dude. So that is what that's doing there is it's getting rid of tank pressure in the LOX tanks. That is probably a final check right there to make sure the LOX tanks are at exactly flight pressure before they let them go and the ullage system takes over. Yeah, once again, guys, my money's on it. Something with the propulsion it didn't like. Yeah, I mean, once again, guys, that happens. It happens. That's good that your computer. Shout out to your controls engineers that found the limits. Never want to launch and have an engine pop. So, I will show you an example, not from Rocket Lab, of what happens if you don't have good control systems.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Seconds, water system on. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 3, 2, 1. Ignition. 0.
First motion.
First motion.
Yeah. The reason why it shut it off was so you don't have an engine blow up right at ignition. If you get some off nominal numbers during ignition and have the rocket go sideways off the pad instead of up. That actually happened. Yeah, that ended about as good as you think. Yeah. Yeah, that was Astra. They had an engine, one of their 6 engines in the first stage blew up right at ignition because of a residual propellant line depressurizing or something. Exit stage left, but that's, oh yeah, that is stage left from the camera. Yes, you're right. Also, one of probably the craziest launches I've ever seen, because watch what happens. All right. All right. It ended up not having enough fuel to get up into space because you know, it turns out going sideways if you're trying to go up is not very fuel efficient, but still though, that's pretty good, man. Oh man, I mean, it's working sort of. It was going up, but the problem is it just wasn't going up enough. I still can't believe that happened.
Looks like we're getting some really great footage from our onboard cameras. I cast my mind back to my live stream of this. I live streamed this with permission from NSF because I wasn't a part of MSF at the time. But I'll show it. It's pretty damn funny actually. Watch.
4, 3, 2.
Watch. Watch your boy.
5,
ignition should be
4,
at 2.
3, 2, 1. Ignition. 0.
First motion.
First motion.
Oh shit! Well. Go, baby, go! Yeah! Fly, you freaking piece of junk! Let's go! Yeah! Awesome! Go! Get up there! Go! Get up there! It's so... Yeah! Awesome! It's so ridiculous, dude. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way that thing exploded. There's no freaking way. Yeah. Dude, it is pretty impressive that it stayed straight, right? You're not kidding. You're not kidding, dude. Fly, you piece of junk! Let's go! I couldn't, dude. At that point, I had no idea what to say. I'm just like, yeah, fly! Like I just, what do you say? I'm like, I've never seen that before. Where did this launch happen? That's Kodiak, Alaska. Yeah, Thomas did that commentary. I remember that, dude. So, something that I do when I'm commentating on launches, and this is how I noticed that something bad was going to happen right before it launched. All right? Here's what I do. At ignition, I look down here. If everything's good there, then I immediately look at the top of the vehicle. you'll be able to immediately discern rates from there. Meaning, watch the top of the vehicle. If it goes up, you're good. Watch the top of the vehicle here.
Motion. First motion.
Oh, shit! Did you see it? It went and then tipped. I immediately knew this was not going to end well. So watch right here. They disconnected a line down here. It disconnected automatically, but there was some residual propellant in there. The residual propellant in the line caught fire, and when it caught fire, watch, it blows up.
First motion.
Shit! Did you see it?
Motion.
This is how fast a RUD can happen. Now, see that thing right there? That's the result of the explosion. Watch. Boop.
First motion.
Did you see it? Shit! Well, sorry for the expletive. I was genuine. That was a genuine reaction. I wasn't trying to play that up. I'm like legit concerned over there. How did they rectify this? They didn't. They retired Rocket 3 and they're trying to make Rocket 4. Can you make that face an emote? That's some straight monkas. Like, no. That's actually ridiculous, dude. The fact that the thing stayed straight up after that, look, that right there is usually an unrecoverable pitch rate at ignition. That most rockets would just flip over and crash. Shout out, I mean, Astra's GNC is pretty damn good for what it's worth. Like, you know, say whatever you want, but well, the fact that it corrected is pretty damn impressive. Yep. So, long story short, to bring this all back together, that's why you have your computer look to see if there's any problems right before you let the rocket go. Because once you let the rocket go off the pad, that's all right. I hope you're getting to space, dude. I hope you're getting to space, or else you're not gonna have a good day. You know what, Psycho? Okay, you can say whatever you want about Chris Kemp, but I honestly think that what Astra was trying to do was not a bad idea. What their original business model was, and I don't know if this is what they're still doing. I don't think anybody knows what they're still doing. What their original business model was to be able to create a rocket with basically off-the-shelf components. No crazy carbon composites, no ridiculous like friction stir welders or anything. Just get a roll of steel or aluminum and just make you be able to make a rocket with basically anything that you could source. Like, I'm not going to say off the shelf materials, but basically off the shelf materials, with the exception of propulsion. That was their idea. Use all off the shelf components for fairings, tankage, whatever. And I'll be honest with you, it's not a stupid idea. The problem is that when you deal with off-the-shelf materials, when you deal with non-aerospace grade materials, you're going to run into problems. The reason why you're going to run into problems is because there's a reason why aerospace materials are such precisely engineered. Because when you try to build a fairing out of parts from the Home Depot, it doesn't work very well. Not that they did that, but also. Like, if you look at Rocket 3, the propulsion is by far and away the most complicated component. This is just metal. Like, this is all off the shelf stuff. The fairing is aluminum. Fairing isn't some crazy carbon composite or anything. It's just very simple. I bet it was very vocal. Yeah. Near commercial off the shelf would be game changing if it worked. Exactly, Psycho. I really don't think Astra had a terrible business model. I think that so Astra had a customer. That customer was Uncle Sam, particularly the DARPA. Astra had a customer called the Advanced Research Project Agency. What the DARPA tests was what they wanted them to do was basically make a rocket that could be deployed anywhere of the Department of Defense's choosing within 24 hours and launched. DARPA had a test. They wanted Rocket 3 to launch in a couple of different locations. They had them do 3 launches, and Astra didn't know where the launch sites were, and they didn't know when the call was coming. They just said launch it here, launch it there, launch it wherever we say, right? And if they had done it, man, would it have been, that's pretty good, because dude, they got the launches, dude. They just didn't get the space. So they didn't win the DARPA contract. They didn't get awarded a lot of money. And from there, they just basically tried to make Rocket 3.0 go. Like, dude, to this day, Rocket 3.0 did have a complete mission. It did have a successful flight. The crazy thing is that Astra, to this day, is one of the only commercial providers that's been to orbit. Astra got to orbit before Blue Origin did. Think about that for a second. And the master-only rocket would be legendary. That's basically what they were trying to do, Nervous. Problem wasn't the off-the-shelf products. Are you sure, Taco? Why would people at Astra tell me otherwise? It was the decision to put cost and production schedules ahead of quality. Well, that's what I mean about that DARPA schedule, but yeah. They didn't get it, so they just tried to make the rocket work, and they had too many failures before Chris Kemp decided, instead of keeping going with Rocket 3.0, that they'd switch to Rocket 4, which is Astra's medium-duty launch vehicle that's designed to compete with Firefly's Eclipse and Neutron, which, once again, not a bad business pivot, to be 100% honest with you. It's not a bad business pivot. That's a pretty smart move. The thing about that is that you have to actually make something to do that. There's a competition among some and higher powered rocketry to try and build a rocket entirely out of McMaster car parts as cheap as possible, including the propellant and tools to build it. Apparently, Astra want to launch Rocket 4.0 in mid-2026. Let's hope that this one goes straight up. I think they will, for what it's worth. That's my opinion, not a fact, FYI. If you have other info, I'd take your word on that. Yeah, dude, I don't mean to pull that card, Taco, but yeah, I think that the QA came from schedule pressure for sure. You're absolutely right. But also, I would say maybe inexperience has a lot to do with that too. And you remember, one of the last Rocket 3s that failed had a bad fairing. The fairing didn't deploy, and it jettisoned the stage inside of the fairing, which is... Yeah, maybe they took that off-the-shelf stuff a little too far, you know? Yeah, no, I've had folks that... I know a couple people that work there. Not that that's going to change my opinion. You generally need the rocket to go up and not sideways. But we did on that last... Dude, that's where I really started figuring out what they were trying to do. Because that footage of that rocket deploying the payload inside of the fairing that didn't open, and I saw the inside of the fairing. The fairing's just made out of off-the-shelf parts. The fairing is just sheet aluminum over a lattice, over a structure. That nobody makes fairings like that, ever. So that's what, and then I went and asked. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're wrong either, you know? Kemp has shown that he can't execute, though. I mean, like I said, he can execute. They've gotten stuff into space 2 times. Real theory question. If you were going to build a rocket from the ground up designed to send big payloads to low Earth orbit or geostationary orbit, would it be feasible to do it with a rocket 2 times? With a rocket with 2 modern F1 engines and a Centaur upper stage? Yeah, sure. Ponzister, you just described Vulcan. Only swap out the F1s for BE4s. Most important thing is having a working engine. They did have a working engine. That's what I mean about Rocket 3. They did their propulsion in-house, and then they outsourced to Firefly, which I'm just... Why? Like, brother, I mean, I also get the market pivot to making a bigger launch vehicle, but if they'd seen it through, Rocket 3.0 could be launching reliably right now. You could launch it just as much as Electron. Probably more if that had paid off. Like, I don't understand the pivot. I think the pivot, like a company's pivoting to a larger launch vehicle is tempting. It's tempting, but you shouldn't do it. Relativity almost went under because they decided to pivot immediately to Terran R after 1 Terran 1 launch. 1. You built an entire pad out, an entire operational launch complex to use it once, and it didn't even get into space. Like, that was a pretty dookie business decision. And Tim Ellis doesn't have control of his company anymore because of it. They got Hostile taken over by Eric Schmidt, which... Okay. Pivoting to a larger launch vehicle is always very, very tempting. The market is trending towards larger launch vehicles for commercial applications. However, because proliferated low Earth orbit is PLEO constellation, so swarms of satellites is kind of the new meta. And launching them as a deck of cards because SpaceX started doing it and kind of playing 52 pickup in space, so to speak, is kind of like the meta now. All the commercial providers are pivoting to larger vehicles. Firefly with Eclipse, Rocket Lab with Neutron, Relativity with Terran R, which, once again, say whatever you want, but Tim Ellis' decision to pivot to Terran R wasn't the stupidest idea. It was a good idea. The problem is that you don't have the capital to make that kind of pivot. If it was me, if I was controlling it, I would just see the rocket through. Because getting stuff into space and being successful is how you raise more capital. That's how you get Series D, Series E, Series F investment. Look, I can send stuff into space. I want to build a bigger rocket. You've seen that I can send stuff into space. Give me money so I can make you money. It's a much easier pitch than saying, well, the market is trending towards this. We should do that. Okay, you've launched 1 rocket and it didn't work. Yeah, so? See, that doesn't work very well. To be fair, Terran 1 was always designed as a proof of concept for their 3D printing. And Taco, I think you probably would have figured, dude, okay. All right, Taco, you clearly know what you're talking about, dude, because of the Astra conversation. Why would they try to print domes horizontally? What is that about? Why would you do... Why? I don't understand why you would do that. Why not put it on a jig and just... I'm not sure that one baffled you too. I think that's genuinely where they screwed up their dome structure. The way they were 3D printing a dome structure, like, okay, anybody here familiar with 3D printing? You have to have infill, right? You have infill in a 3D print, right? And you 3D print something. Sometimes you 3D print it upside down so you can get better infill, and you have to, you have to prop it up with 3D print, and then you could break that 3D print off and you get what you want. The way they were doing the dome would be like trying to print like a human hand sideways. Think about if you wanted a 3D model of a hand like this, right? And you turned your 3D printer on its side and started printing it that way. Like you started printing at the fingertips. Like the bed of the 3D printer is this way. I get, yeah, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, that's not a bad way to do that. But also, I would do it plumb with gravity. 3D printing this way would be much easier. Yeah, very weird, dude. I don't know why you do that. I don't, whatever. What do I know? If the printing would have worked, it would have been faster with additive than milling in orthogrid, plus less material cost. Well, yeah, absolutely. But they decided to print it sideways, spoiled. That doesn't make... I don't get why you would do that. Sorry, I got an itch in my nose. I don't understand what your use case there was. I understand the use case for 3D printing, not for 3D printing sideways, if that makes any sense.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Would printing it like a bowl not make more sense? That's what I'm saying, right? You'd want to print it this way. You'd start at the center and work your way out, right? That makes more sense. Why, like, but they wanted to print sideways. And they ended up not being able to do it. And that's part of the reason why they almost went bankrupt until they got Hostile taken over because they ran out of capital. Machine probably had vertical limitations. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, good conversation topics here. Let me 3D prints follow along layer lines. Maybe that orientation had something to do with its strength. Yeah, it's possible, past show. Sure. Let me get the rest
Discovery,
of
go
the
at throttle
space
up.
news up here. Just getting all the links ready. Who was that? Hot Rod, 8-month resub. Coltech with an 80-month resub in there. Thank you so much. Okay, so a little bit more of space news here. Never noticed. What are you talking about? All right. Pad personnel struggled to secure... Okay, so this is coming from Anatoly Zak. He reports on the Russian space program. A little while ago, when a Soyuz with 2 cosmonauts and a NASA astronaut launched into space, it seemed to eject one of its service gantries into the flame trench. Which, yeah. Considering this is the only operational Soyuz pad... Well, it ain't operational anymore. Considering that this is the only operational Soyuz pad, this is kind of a problem. So Anatoly Zak had a little bit of an update about it. Pad personnel struggled to secure the mobile platform before last month's botched Soyuz launch, but proceeded to lift off anyway, so not to disappoint bosses and tourists, according to unofficial Oh. See what I mean about ignoring your own rules? It doesn't just apply to NASA. That's a thing. That's a thing that exists. So yeah, that's your service gantry for hooking up the rocket to the launch pad, by the way. Yeah, needless to say that's probably not going to be useful anytime soon. Russia jumped over $1 to get a dime. Yep.
Sorry, the internet. Let's move on. I just saw that and felt compelled to mention it. So check this out. This news is right from today. The Blue Origin tested on Earth, bound for the moon. B7 engine for our Blue Moon Mark 1 lander just completed acceptance testing. 290-second tests exposed the engine to its full range of thrust and mixture ratios to verify engine performance. The Mark 1 engine is now off to Florida for integration. Or the engine is now off for integration with the Mark 1 lander. Here's some footage from Blue. That's the B7 lander that they're going to use to land on the moon. I think that tweet that I just showed there is a textbook definition of missing the point. I think that, what do we call that? Splitting hairs? Okay, cool. Damn, I wish I got to sign an engine. I've hugged an engine. Does that help? Any guesses on what that nozzle's made of? Probably a variant of Inco, and it's got copper cooling channels in it. You can see the channels. Well, actually, I don't even know if those channels are copper. They might not be. The liner is usually on the inside of the nozzle. Yeah, I've hugged an LR87. Does that help? Did you lick it? No, just hugged it. I have that on stream, by the way. Yeah, I hugged the rocket engine on stream. It was pretty awesome. Beskar. Yes. Kenny, I do believe that is Beskar. It does look like Beskar. This is the way. That looks like Inco to me, but it has a cooling jacket on the inside. I don't know what the cooling jacket is. I'd have to look. What fuel is the lander? B7 is Hydrolox, I believe. Liquid hydrogen, dual expander cycle. Yep. Is it horizontal? Yes. That's a long flight to keep them tanks cool. Blue seems to think it's going to work. Yeah, they're firing it in a vacuum chamber. I'm actually wondering where this vacuum test stand is, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, it's probably at Marshall, but also, that is a vacuum test stand. Edwards? I don't know, dude, maybe. Jeff's basement? Probably. Likely one of NASA's. $44 kilonewtons of thrust. Locks LH2. Yeah, guys, the crazy thing here, let's see what Dave Limp had to say. B7 is designed for 10,000 pounds of force, 10,000 pounds of thrust, and can throttle down to 2,000 at any point during the mission. For Mark 1, we will use this throttle capability specifically for landing. It also operates a mixture ratios from 5.5 to 7.1 parts LOX per hydrogen. Adjustable mixture, allowing us to optimize performance for different phases of the mission. Adjustable mixture. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. What's that? Cyborg, you got it?
It is Ed Edwards. You guys are right. Cool. Good call, dudes. Thank you. Today I learned. So my guess, fellas, is that they're opting to be able to have variable mixture for better thermal control. That's my guess. Could be wrong though. Because why? Why would you run more fuel rich? You'd run fuel rich for temperature. Usually, that's usually what you do. Like I don't know if anybody's ever flown a Cessna around. You adjust the mixture accordingly to the altitude, or else you'll overheat. You'll blow up the engine, or go too fuel rich and run out of fuel. Kind of important. Those guys called engine ears because they listen to the roar. That's yes. How'd you know? How do you know they're secret? I was told to be sworn to secrecy. Why would you bring that up? How dare you, sir? There are non-stoichiometric mixtures that optimize specific impulse by shooting more propellant mass into the exhaust, I think. Yeah, that too. Sure. More fuel equals cooling. Use a richer mixture to cool your motor. You also get really bad spark plug fouling. Yep, if it's too rich. That's right. Yeah, you will foul a plug because you will basically cake the thing in fuel. Same thing with cars, Dan. Where is that Blue Moon Mark 1? There it is, dude. Check this out. Jeff posted this. Blue Moon Mark 1 flight vehicle that will land near Shackleton Crater will soon be doing fully integrated checkout tests at over 26 feet tall, 8 meters. It is smaller than a Mark II human lander, but larger than the Apollo lander. There it is, dudes. That BE-7's going on that. Blue's targeting the moon a lot sooner than you might think. I'm serious. Actually, Dave Limp posted something else the other day. You guys want to check this out? Look, he posted this on the 12th. So on Friday, Blue tested another Glen Stage 2. We completed 15-second hot fire with serial number 4 today. This might get loud, headphone users. Beware. My right ear loves this, by the way. Really? Mono sound? Really? Really? Bad mono sound. Bad. All right, cool. So, yeah, Blue's doing stuff in the background. Like I said, the big challenge for them is to get New Glenn up and running. You need to get New Glenn running. I don't think New Glenn needs to fly on the frequency of Falcon 9 for what it's worth, for what Blue is trying to do. What I do think New Glenn needs to do is launch probably once a week. If I had to guess, that's probably what they're targeting for 7x2, at least in the interim period of time, because of Project Kuiper. I would probably think that you would really want to get to that point by 2027. Once a week. That'd be pretty much good enough to build out Kuiper to from what my understanding is. Clock is ticking, dudes. But, yeah. You mean Leo. You know what, Comus? I don't mean Amazon Leo. I don't. I don't. Not at all. You know what, man? I don't. Thanks for reminding you that you had your headset on wrong. Oh boy. I hate it just as much. Yeah. To be fair, Project Kuiper was a stupid name too. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Blue's naming convention for anything is not like a little bit weird. New Glenn, New Shepherd, like, I understand the gist of it, but that also implies that this is the first suborbital rocket ever devised since Mercury Redstone. And New Glenn implies that it's the first orbital rocket since, you know, John Glenn's flight. Mercury Atlas in 1962. Look, all I'm saying is if one was like called Lightning and the other one like Bill or something, that would be not as weird. Does New Glenn have the guts to get that lander out to the moon? Sure. It should be called Amazon Starlink Basic. No. Oh. Yeah, O-Force, that's my weird thing about it. Like, yeah, New Glenn implies that no one else has done this. Like, it's New Glenn for a new era of commercial spaceflight, except for the other guy that's done it like 500 times. And Rocket Lab, who've done it like 80 times. And Astra. And anyone else that's sent something to space commercially. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever, dude. You know what? Weird naming conventions aside, that mission, Blue Moon, is scheduled for 2026. I'd say Flight 4. Flight 4 or Flight 5, man. That's soon. That's not as far away as you might think. EJAI's Nuevo Saturn V will be named Bill 5. It's Flight 3, Phil. So the next flight. I don't know, man. I'm thinking Flight 4. But, hey, if they manifest 3, dude, good for them. Paulette's still in the roster later tonight. No. JDG, I said I would play Battlefield tonight because Bandit, one of my regular guys that plays Battlefield with me is he's getting surgery, and this is the last day he can play. So yeah, we're not doing Battlefield for after hours every day this week, dudes. We're not doing that. Only tonight and maybe one or two other nights. I'm kind of done playing Battlefield every night. I do like it, but it's honestly making me a more angry person. And you know what, man? I want to be an angry person. With that being said, I do enjoy playing it with you guys. But, dude, it pushes my buttons, man. It pushes my buttons, and I don't want to be that person. So guess what? I'm not going to, you know? Yeah, so maybe 1 or 2 times a week for Battlefield After Hours, just for the people that still like seeing it. But I want to get back to doing building games and having fun conversations about Saturn V's and playing Kerbal and stuff, dude. But you're a masshole. You're supposed to be angry. I know, Vin. I don't want to be, dude. I don't want to be. I don't need to be angry all the time, dude. Wait, Frank Bros, what did you say? Hey, EJ, long time no see. Sorry, I got it. I missed it. Long time no see. Just heard back from my dream university, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and plan on going into the aerospace engineering program there. Just wanted to say thank you for pushing me as a freshman to work hard and fall in love with space. I can't thank you enough. Yeah, baby. Now that's something to get fired up about. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Good job. Stick with it, man. It won't steer you wrong. But, Frank, I will say, you got a long battle ahead. Take it step by step. Congratulations, man. That's great. Good for you. Hey, he better be in the rocketry club. You go there. Oh. Well, there you go. Looks like you have company from other viewers.
Oh, this is space.
Yes, sir,
I'm in
Thank you
space.
so much. Absolutely, man. Space is awesome. It's awesome. Nothing's cooler. The engineering is just... It just scratches an itch for everything to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. It just, oh, I love it. I love it. It makes my brain, it makes my brain just very happy, you know? Tell him we got more than 150 people in the club. We could always use more. Well, Frank, it looks like you just got an invite to the Rocket Club. The Rocketry Club at UT Knoxville. But that's probably not what it's called, is it? I just made that up. I don't even know if it's called that anymore. Or at all. UT, I think people would think University of Texas. Oh yeah, you'll be there. All right, cool. It is? Oh, okay, cool, sweet. I like rockets, but I don't like math enough. I'll stick with being addicted to the history side of it, though. That's fair, Eddie. Yeah, that's fair. It's the real UT. Damn. 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 Yikes, as a former Longhorn. Yikes. Yikes. You bet, concur. We do need more of the, wait, what? You lasted 2 semesters before you moved home and did the community college thing. No? Alright, whatever. Cool. I sent you links to the standalone transmission controllers. Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Honk honk. All right. So, check this out. Got some news coming from NASA. Well, this is coming from Jeff Faust, but Tua 4 for 6, 37 yards, 1 pick. Oh. The night is still young, Fluffy boy. Ooh. Okay. Telemetry analysis suggests that the Maven spacecraft... So Maven is one of NASA's spacecraft around the moon. Or Mars, sorry. It's a Mars atmospheric probe. That's with the M and the A. Mars atmospheric vehicular... Nitro Plus. Spacecraft was rotating. I forget what the Maven acronym stands for. It's designed to test probe Mars atmosphere. Look around Mars atmosphere. It was rotating in an unexpected manner when it emerged from behind Mars. Further, the frequency of the tracking signal suggests Maven's orbital trajectory may have changed. Ooh. The Mars atmospheres and volatile evolution mission. Oh, it's a backronym. Gosh, dang it. Ugh, I hate backronyms. So something perturbed it, dude. I don't know what what's going to cause rotate. Well, I do know what's going to cause rotation and orbital trajectory change. Either something on the spacecraft malfunctioned or something hit it. That wasn't a laser blast. Something hit us. Aliens from 3i Atlas messing with our probes again. Okay, next bit of news. All right, sweet. Announcing VAST's call for research proposals. VAST is opening access to microgravity research aboard the Haven 1 lab, the world's first crewed commercial space-based research and manufacturing facility. Learn more here. I love that. Behind VAST's wooden trim, you still have ISS racks. Those are ISS components that are just, yeah, okay. That are just behind some wood trim. Okay. How much of this will affect perseverance and curiosity? Oh, jeez. Sorry, guys. How much of this will affect perseverance and curiosity? Oh, not much. Not much, Ari. Those don't use Maven to communicate. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is what's used with that. I got one for them. How does Kerbal Streamer do streaming on orbit? Very slowly or quickly. Texted you my friend's preferred 8 HP source. Thank you. Didn't get it. Did you send it to me on Discord? The Discord or the text? Interesting. Maven can occasionally work as a relay, but the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is doing most of the heavy lifting, guys. But yes. What's the mass budget for the wood trim? Probably not a lot, dude. Wood is very light, dude. Stop making me yawn, chat. Dang it. Wood is super light, dude. That's probably not much. It's definitely like laminate wood or something. Could be just particle board. I wouldn't want particle board, though. I would want actual wood, to be honest with you. The reason why I would want to use actual wood is because particle board can flake, and that can destroy your environmental control systems. Yeah, flakes. Or a laminate, maybe. Boring, like this egg ball game. Could be Trex. It could be Trex. But then again, Trex is kind of heavy, so. Could be plastic. You could be plastic, boy. Anyway, let's check out Starbase Live. Let's see what's going on down at Tejas. Dude, that Gigabay is coming together, man. Holy crap. There. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing. Oh, thanks for losing yesterday from a Mile High resident. We didn't lose, we were outplayed. Okay? Okay. Your clock is an hour off. No, your clock's an hour off, fool. At least you weren't blown out. I would say that we got outplayed in the second half. Don't worry, stupid horse thing people. Ah, there we go. I just got it. Yeah. There we go. Sound German automotive. Very good. Very good. Wunderbar.
Yeah, no. The good thing about my new phone, Sean, is that I get reception in here with this thing. Yeah, my old phone, the antenna was not good enough on that thing. But yeah, I'm very happy the Cowboys lost. Well, of course, who isn't? And to be fair, to be 100% honest with you, they moved the camera back to Albie. Okay. By looking at your clock, the stream is delayed. It's been confirmed. Micah tore an ACL. Ugh. I'll be honest with you, John Doe. To be 100% real, I don't think any of this matters. You guys, Denver might beat the Patriots. Patriots might beat Denver. Buffalo might beat both of us. We might beat Buffalo. It doesn't matter. I firmly believe that we are going to get railed by an NFC team. Did you watch the Rams game yesterday? Seattle? I don't know, man. I don't know if anyone's can bunk with that, dude. To be honest with you, you ain't scared. All right, okay. Look, we weren't scared. We weren't scared of playing the Bills until the end of the game yesterday. You know, like that's all I'm saying, man. Football is a very good way of humbling you if you're on your high horse, and you guys like to ride horses. It's in the name. It's funny how Seattle's doing so well after Pete Carroll left, and look at the Raiders. Patriots won 6 Super Bowls after Pete Carroll left. I'm just saying there's a pattern emerging here. I don't think the offense is the problem, Panta. The Patriots need to fix their defense. Yeah. I think we have a defensive problem now. Probably fix that. Defense, you kind of need that. Who was Pete Carroll before Seattle? USC, I think. Yeah. How'd that end? Any USC fans out there? How'd that end? I'm just saying. Senate vote this week. When's that happening, Outdoorsman? The only football that I watch is the 11 versus 11, aka true football. 11 versus 11, huh? W? He doesn't know. He doesn't know what you call soccer. W, in American football, it's 11 players up for both teams on the... Yeah, it's 11v11 too, man. I get what you're saying, but also, does he know? Does he know? He doesn't know. American football has the same amount of players, dude. I got bad news for you, buddy.
Got bad news for you, man. You know Australians call it soccer. I don't see anybody barking up their tree about calling it soccer. It's just us. Why you do that? It's because we live in your head rent-free. Boom. There it is. Are you jelly of the NFL? I think they are, Chad. I think they're jelly. I think they're just jelly. It's a shame. All these flavors and you choose salty. The British coined the word soccer. This is these flavors and they choose salty. There's only one kind of football, and the kind that originates from the land of lunar landings. Boom. The NFL is so boring. Javine, do not even sit here and try to condescend to us that a 90-minute 0-0 soccer game is fun to watch. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. As an Australian, you get told off for calling it soccer? Why would they? Why? I don't understand why people get mad at us, Paul, for calling it what it is. Like, it's so strange. It's the weirdest thing, right? Like, I mean, hockey is the best, but I digress. Football. Anybody that thinks you don't use your feet in American football does not understand American football, dudes. We've been over that. Oh, come on, Jerry. We've been over this. You know, they're both derived from the same sport, right? Like, it's like everything is shuttle derived. One player uses his feet. You know that a field goal kicker and a punter are two different positions, right? No, same difference. Except that it's not, but it's fine. Whatever, it's fine. Fine. There you go, boss. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do we have actually any shots of the Gigabay? Hold on. Give me 1 sec. So check this out. Niall Ian Anderson has a shot of the Gigabay from the RGV flyover. Look at this, dudes. Actually, Niall commented about it. He was the first one that I saw that pointed it out. Check this out. So this is the Gigabay right here that they're building at Boca Chica. That's this right here. But that camera shot down here is this from over there. That's that angle. There's Lab Padre's camera. There's Lab. And then NSF stuff is like right there usually. Now check this out. Obviously, you have two aisles in the Gigabay. There's one here and then there's one here. But on this side, look, there's doors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's doors that are all about the same size of the door that was previously on the end. That was on the end of Star Factory. Check this out. This is going to make it so they can move assembly line style. You can move stuff right off the lines into the Gigabay. See the 6 doors? And the reason why I brought up Niall here, the reason why I brought up Niall Ian is because he did a render. Kid did a render of this. It's actually super cool. Check that out. See? They're going to be able to put stuff right into that Gigabay from Star Factory. That's superbly cool, actually. He went to Starbase last year and the skyline has completely changed since then. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to say the least. Don't you lose 6 workstations then? No. Gomez, they're still, the doors are going to go right to the workstation. So think about it like this. Star Factory, right? You guys are looking at Star Factory from the road. Star Factory, into the transfer aisle, through the door, into the workstation for stacking, right? One side of the Gigabay for stacking. And then once you have something fully stacked, you move it to the bay across, directly across from it, right? So you do your stacking in these 6 bays, right? And then you move, once the vehicle is stacked, you move to production, you move to the next thing, like an assembly line, right? You move to these 6 bays over here that are directly across from them, not in the next aisle. The next aisle is for boosters, right? So in Niall's thing, right? So see how you have 6 bays over here, right? You move from Star Factory, they do the stacking in these 6 over here, and then you do the rest of the assembly in the 6 across. So you just move it across, and then when it's ready, you move it out. I think that's a super smart idea. These renders from Niall are very good. They're really cool. I'll post him up. Post up his X if you guys want to see more. So yeah, that's pretty cool that you're starting to see the doorways being built. I wonder if the one at the Cape actually has this. So assembly and fitting out bays. That's right. Stacking. You have 6 stacking bays and then 6 processing bays. Building 12 at a time in one building is crazy. It's pretty cool, man. Highway 4 repairs should begin next year, too. Cool. For Jared, sometime soon, along with a nuclear dude to be voted. Can't confirm the exact date, but it's on the docket to be done before end of the week. Good. RGB also has a picture of the pad. Okay. Here's what pad 1 looked like as of the 10th of December. Oh, they really got most of the shower plate out of there. Dude, there's nothing left. Completely gone. Gone. Reduced to dust and ashes. Where did that bring you? Right back to me. So, if you guys want to look, the pad was originally here. There's a leg there, leg there, leg there, leg there, leg there. The deluge plate is completely gone. It's totally gone. Wait, nuclear dude? Outdoorsman, who's the nuclear dude? Jared confirmed. Following day, we go to Mars. Thursday after next. Sounds good to me, man. That's a big boy excavator, dude. What kind of excavator we got here? I was trying to figure this out on stream the other day. I don't know. Someone tell me if that's a caterpillar. I think it's a cat, but I'm not sure. That one's definitely a cat. You can tell because of the way it is. Those are the jackhammer, and that's the Komatsu over there. So these guys have jackhammers on the end, and they're breaking up all the concrete. When I say that this is a big excavator, I mean it's a big excavator. Look at the dude sitting there with the torch. It looks like he's got a acetylene torch or something, or he's just standing there. Look at the size of that excavator compared to the dude. That is a monster. Even the Komatsu over there is gigantic. It's a Kabelko. You can tell it's a cat because it says cat. Well, because of the way it is, yeah. Is he sitting on a chair or something? I was wondering, does he have a torch or something? I saw the glow right there. I don't know, maybe. He is definitely sitting on a chair. But look at the scale of the dude compared to the excavator. You see 3 distinct sizes of excavators. That thing is a monster. I want one. I don't know what I'd do with it, but I want one. It's pretty cool. Where would they store the idle parts of the fleet between flights? My guess would be in the next aisle, Bill. Just a guess. That's a Sani excavator. Chair and torch. Douglas Weaver to be a member of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Oh, thank you. He's cutting rebar with a torch. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Oh. Oh. Hey, man. They're starting to pick up the scaffolding. We're almost ready here. Twitch chat says thank you, YouTube chat. Question, how does Starship get caught on a geostationary transfer? Can I have enough Delta V? Geostationary transfer? With a small enough satellite, you'll have enough Delta V, New Glenn. Sure. How does it get caught? Well, the thermal protection system is really designed to be... But their benchmark for their TPS, New Glenn, is a thermal protection system that can survive a trans-Earth injection from low Mars orbit. Coming back from geostationary transfers should be fine with their stakeholder expectations, provided they have enough Delta V to be able to move the satellite there. For instance, if Starship was trying to move a satellite to a geostationary transfer orbit, right? If they were trying to do that, let's say just a standard geo satellite, 6,500 kilos. Starship, when it reaches operational capacity, is projected to have 100 tons payload capacity. 6,500 is nothing. That's nothing. 6,500 kilos, that's 6.5 tons out of 100-ton payload capacity. Starship could move that thing to Mars and back easily. So how's it going to come back from Geo? Well, is it going to have enough Delta V? Yeah. How does it do it? Because it's ridiculous. It can move 100 tons into low Earth orbit. You can move 100 tons to low Earth orbit. 6,500 to Geo and back is nothing. That's a walk in the park. Yeah, but you'll need refueling. What? No, you won't. No, you will not. You will not need refueling. In fact, I was doing the math out the other day. Actually, this was like a month ago on stream or something, probably more. I was thinking about this the other day, guys. If you took the Apollo LEM and made a carbon copy of it, provided it works, right? The Apollo Lunar Excursion Module, that exact thing. If Starship Block 3 has a 100-ton payload capacity like SpaceX actually says, that thing would be able to direct insert that into low Earth orbit with no refueling missions. Think about that for a second. Starship could launch, translunar injection, circularize at the moon, deploy the LEM, have the LEM do its thing, right? The ascent module comes back up from the moon, docks with Starship, people go inside the Starship, Starship comes home. It can do all of that without any refueling. I'm just saying. You'd need refueling if you want 100 tons to Geo. Well, yes. Sure, but that wasn't the question, now was it? The LEM was 16 tons, guys. 16 metric tons. Or you could put a small kick stage inside of Starship. I'm sure there would be a commercial off-the-shelf company that does that. Impulse. Do that. Put a kick stage in it, just like what they did with the space shuttle. Oh, that's good, John. Neat. Eventually, Gigabay 2 will replace Megabay 1 and 2 and become storage. That's right, Comus. Yeah. What, there's the Megabay 1 and 2 over here. On the sides, right? That's where they currently build them. SpaceX is going to extend this Gigabay from what I understand. They're just going to build another one over there and use it for vehicle storage. Yeah, that's a good, and more production if needed. Starbase is gonna have 2 gigabays. There's gonna be one on either side. Truly, just, I mean, guys, look at this camera. It looks like a forest of steel. So this bay and that bay. You know what? That's a good way of explaining that, Spoiled. Sure. Crazy. Sorry, I was just thinking about, I stood here at the beginning of this year, and yeah, I mean, you guys were, a couple of people in the chat were talking about how it changed so much, dude. I was just thinking, if I stood where CP11 is right now, if I stood right where this camera is, right, and stood there a year ago and now, it wouldn't even look the same. You wouldn't even be able to tell it's the same building, which is just crazy to me. The high bay was still there. The last time I was down at Starbase was February, guys. So yes. Are you touching the cameras? No. First pad existed and there was not an air separator. Yep. Dude, the roundabout wasn't even there, DH. If I went down there right now, it looked like totally different than it did 6 months ago. Or, well, the last time I was there was 11 months ago. That's crazy. Anyway, cool. There's a quick Starship update. And that's going to do it for Space News. Good stuff. Saw Rocket Scrub. Saw a bunch of good stuff there. Once again, guys, the news has been rather slow lately. And it kind of sucks. But, yeah, it is what it be. Just on a side note, fellas, I was thinking, guys, you know, there's a lot of games that need to be played that I want to play. It might be prudent to push Space News' regular start time instead of 5 to 7. You know, and go from there. So we could get a good chunk of gaming in. And because the Space News gets slow at the end of the year, I mean, it's been slow in general, but yeah. Also, per Everyday Astronaut, he will have another Stoke Space Tour. Yeah, Outdoorsman, that's cool. I'm okay with that, but your viewers might have another opinion. Yeah. I don't really have another way to balance this correctly. So it's just temporary. We'll try it out and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's the Space and Rocket review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What is it? Time is it now? 9:25. I'm going to play a couple of games of Battlefield to send off Bandit before he... So one of the regular guys that plays Battlefield with me is he's going for surgery for a little while. So it's the last day he could play before he goes. I said I would play Battlefield, so I'm going to. It's not going to be for very long. To be honest, I got to get up and drive into the city where tomorrow I have another doctor's appointment. So we'll see how this plays. Psy 7-3 Blitzberg. Boy. What's the closest to liftoff the Saturn V could abort a launch? Pretty much any time before the hold down point's separated, dude. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the Space and Rocket review. I'm going to flip us over to Battlefield, and I will see you guys momentarily. Jog the YouTube VOD and go from there. Be back in a moment.